the damn sneak, man.
Right.
Deuteronomy 23:7, do not abhor an Edomite.
Hey.
I was like, what's abhor?
You go on one level, then go deep on the level. Just give them the first level, then go to
the first level of that. See that, because they're trying to use that Deuteronomy 23:7. Now, the Deuteronomy, can somebody get that? Deuteronomy 23:7. All right, read it, brother.
You got it? All right. Brother got it.
7, right.
All right. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite.
Right. It said, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. Now, when you read the scripture, they'll make it seem like it's saying, don't hate an Edomite. Don't hate the white man. The word abhor does not mean hate. The word abhor means to like avoid, to hold in disdain, to look down on. That's what that scripture means. Right? Read on.
All right. For he is thy brother.
For he is thy brother. So they see that, they say you shall not abhor Edomite, meaning that you're not supposed to hate Esau. But that's not what that scripture means, right? On the one level, right, it means let's say if it's talking to Edomites, right? That was really referring to you not supposed to look down on Esau because he looked different, right? But when you go into the Strong's Concordance, because there was this guy named Pastor Emashir, right? And what he did was he brought out a good point. I don't know if he's a Jake, I don't know if he's an Edomite, but he brought out a good point. He said that all throughout the scriptures, somebody give me Ezekiel 35. All throughout the scriptures, when you read the Bible and you read about Esau or Edom, it's always talking about something bad that's going to happen and come upon them, right? But whenever you read, like, all throughout the scriptures, from Genesis all the way to Revelation, anytime it speaks about Esau, it speaks about something bad. Whether he stole his birthright, whether he's going to be judged, whether he's going to be destroyed, whether he's going to go into slavery. But then all of a sudden, in Deuteronomy 23:7, it says you're not supposed to abhor Edomite. So this guy made a good point. You know what he found out? He found out that scripture and that particular verse there, when you go to the Strong's Concordance and you look up the word Edomite in that particular scripture, the number for the Strong's Concordance number is number 130. When you look up the number 130, right, it says a cleric, it says Esau, it says Edom, whatever. It says, and then as you read on down, it says a clerical error for 726. Right? Now, when you read 726 in the Strong's Concordance, you know what the word there is? Aram, an Aramaean. So really, the word that should be there should be thou shalt not abhor an Aramaean. Exactly, it's a different nation. It's not the Edomite. Now, in some, like we said, some parts of the Strong's Concordance they go off, some parts they're on point. In that particular part, they're on point. Because really, it's supposed to be an Aramaean. Now, I'm gonna show you something real quick. Because I got it.
Now you know that nigga.
I got it in here somewhere. Just bear with me. Hey, brothers, say a few words.
Yep. Like you said, hey, this so-called white man. Give me that fact. Give me Revelations, the 22nd. They like to add and put things in there. They try to put their philosophy. The so-called white man's doctrine is the same thing that Nimrod taught, the old Babylonian king. I mean, all nations could be saved. Everybody can come together in one. Don't hate the so-called white man. Yet the so-called white man raped, robbed the nation of Israel and all the nations. But yet they gotta tell you that he could be saved. Not according to the Bible, salvation is only for Israel. So the so-called white man adds stuff and puts stuff into this word to try to fit his old witchcraft philosophies. But the Lord said something gonna happen to him. 22 and 16. He won't add into this.
I said you were listening, and Ariana started smiling. Like Elijah's prophet.
19.
There you go.
All right, Revelation chapter 22, verse 19. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy,
it said, if any man shall take away the words. They try to add stuff and put in stuff, like you got the New World Translation. In the New World Translation, it takes out all the colored scriptures. Or try to say, translate it where Esau could be saved. That's all madness. They tell you that Romans 9 and 13, it says, Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated. Who's Jacob? The father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Who's Esau? The father of the so-called white man. Esau was the father of the, you call the nation of Edom, which means red. And you look at him, he's not white, he's red. And the Lord put that mark on him so you know who the devil is and who's the wicked of the earth.
But yet supposed to look like that.
No, that's not natural.
Because during the time of Noah, everybody had pigment. So what happened to the so-called white man? He lost his pigment. Now when you read in the book of Genesis, the 4th chapter, it explains to you why the so-called white man lost his pigment. Because they're the sons and daughters of Cain. And the Lord left that mark on them to show them to be the wicked. Because in the book of Proverbs 16 and 4, the Lord say he made all things. Get that, brother. Get the book of Proverbs. Because you got a lot of people that think God don't create evil.
Because the Lord is
God can do whatever he want to do. You know why? Because he's God. You can't tell God what to do. He can do what he wants to do because he's God. And everything that he does, he laid it down in the Bible. All right? Proverbs 16 and 4. The Lord, this is the scripture that they won't bring out in these so-called churches, which shows you those churches are all paid off. Which you brothers that have been coming, you know. The Illuminati got them churches in their back pocket.
I was telling a guy from my church about how like everything I learned from y'all. Right. And he was like, oh, like he didn't know I knew that much. I want to go into the church. Right. A lady asked the pastor a question, and the pastor couldn't answer, and I had this question in my head. I'm like, this is Deuteronomy 28:54. What are you talking about? He couldn't answer the question.
That's why in the book of Isaiah, the Lord called these pastors dumb dogs. Yeah. That's in Isaiah 56 and 10. Now go ahead and read that, brother.
Right. Proverbs 16 and 4. The Lord has made all things for himself.
Yep. Go on.
Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
Right, so who's the wicked? Let's go to Job 9 and 24. See, that's what the scripture means by rightly dividing the word of truth, which is what them phony-ass pastors don't do.
Right.
Even the ones on TV, they don't do that. What's Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen, all them guys, man. They're all part of the Illuminati government, the secret government.